Hello there, peoples of the net. I am Raging Ray, and today I am going to simply talk about algebra and how it is completely pointless. Now let's go ahead and see. Now, with school, math, you require it pretty much. It helps you a lot in life. It does, to be honest, but algebra, we know that's math, but that is another part of math that isn't really too necessary. See, you don't need to know algebra to buy a car. You don't need algebra to, do all the stuff that you need to do, like paying bills, taxes, and all that stuff. Algebra can be used for anything during your daily life, but it isn't required. It simply is not required. I can use algebra to find out how far I am from this camera, but do I want to? No, it is pointless. I know how far I am. I'm this far. That sounded stupid, but I am this far. I don't need to do anything with finding X, finding A, finding Y, finding Z, but it just doesn't make sense for an average person to require to know algebra. Yes, I'm usually saying this because I suck at it, but that doesn't matter. Many other people can even agree that it is beyond pointless to know it. It is a bit too pointless to know it, because you just don't need it. But it is a completely idiotic requirement that high school and education requires of us. It is just pointless. I keep saying it is pointless. But now here we go. The algebraic teachers and the geometry teachers, but mostly algebra, they find the most stupidest excuses to state why we should learn it. They say you need it for your daily life. You need it for this, you need it for that. You don't need it. You never need it. They can never come up with a certain thing that says that they would require it. They can never, ever come up with a scenario when they had to use algebra, or even thought like using it. It's simply pointless. The only time I would say that you would require it is if you were either a designer on a computer, either graphics or code, or you were building something. But even at that, you have all these other angle stuff. You simply don't need it. You just don't need it. Maybe the most simplest things can be useful, but every other thing is just, you can't do it in a daily basis if you needed to. You will never need algebra on an average person's life. You never need it. It is completely pointless beyond everything that we can learn. Algebra is too pointless. I keep saying pointless, but that is all I can say. Geez, it's useless. There's another word. You simply never need it. You never need algebra. Never. But the school education demands that we know it. Maybe in school, if we had to decide between some other types of jobs, like a certain field of of working, then like a package that gives us all these algebra stuff. And maybe if we don't want to do this, maybe if we want to sweep the Walmart or be at store or something else that doesn't require the knowledge, then we can just have simple math, or maybe do bigger problems or more steps. Because that is useful. You would, in fact, need to know the steps for big numbers. You would want to know a lot about multiplication and division. Are there not more steps? Have we completely figured it out? Maybe, maybe not. But algebra is pointless, because that is useful. But we after middle school, I think we pretty much have enough education regarding math. I don't think that it's that useful to learn anymore. But so we don't forget it. So of course it's nice to have a math class, but maybe harder math. But this is not going to change. It is just completely pointless. Algebra is nothing. So I'm gonna try to find an algebra paper. I'm pretty sure I have an algebra paper. Let me find it. Where is it? Is it here? Oh, yeah. Here it is. Okay. Got that. Okay. So, x plus 1 squared equals 9. X plus 1 equals square root of 9. X minus 2 squared equals 16. X minus 2 equals square root of 16. Is this a joke? I mean, I understand how you'd find it, but when would you ever need it? It seems like it's pointless. Like, it seems like algebra is just something to test our brains, because you never need it. You never fucking need it. You fucking never need it.
This is bullshit that they make us do this.
Why would they ever let us do this? Why would they make us do this? It's pointless. Unless you want to, do something with puzzles. There's no fucking reason for you to have to do algebra. What the fuck? There's no reason to do it. X squared plus 4x. To complete the square of x squared plus bx, add b divided by 2 squared to the expression. Write the term needed to complete the square for each expression. You will never need algebra in your life. You will never need algebra in your life. It is just a joke to test our brain. It is pointless. It is like a puzzle. You don't need algebra in your life. Pointless. Stupid. Needless. You don't need it. Don't need it. You don't need it. Get your paper. You don't need it. Don't need it. Once again, people of the net, algebra is pointless. We have to do it though, even though there's nothing we get into it besides maybe exercise our brain. But it's a joke. Algebra is a joke. There's no reason to. You never, ever need it. All the stuff right there that I was just reading, you won't need that. You might be able to somehow implement it if you even care to implement it, because you wouldn't need to implement it because you could find it out some other way. By simply looking, you don't need it. Anyway, this is me, Raging Ray from the Raging Ray Show. Sorry that I've raged out, but that is my name. Sorry I looked crazy, but that's not my name. Regardless, I will see you next time on the Raging Ray Show.
Wipe out the goddamn blood, get lip surgery. A bird has a beak for God's sake. You nasty butthole. How is the bird supposed to pick up his words? They would just keep slipping out of his mouth. I also don't get how the bird doesn't just call a plumber to get rid of the pipes so he can get to where he needs to go. My hat scores 9 because his huge lips hit the pipe every time. The bird